Okay, Mac, back up the truck. Dump the cardboard right here. All right, let's go, let's go. Hey everybody, I'm Melanie. Welcome back. Today we are talking cardboard again. This is video 2 in our Cardboard Crazy series. Today it's about construction, and you don't need a hard hat to do it. It's all about creating stability in your cardboard creations. So we have a whole chart over here that we're going to go over in just a minute. So what do you need to get started? Well, guess what? A pencil. And its 2 companions, an eraser and a sharpener. Next, a utility knife and also an X-Acto knife, which is always good to have. A pen. We've got a tool from my clay clay tools, and you can use this to make holes in the cardboard. So I'm not sure if we're going to use that or not, but we might. It's always good to have some glue. We actually have 3 adhesives here. This is foil tape. Foil tape is awesome. It's foil, like aluminum foil, with an adhesive backing, and it is pretty cool. And I'll tell you what, students love this stuff. Masking tape is also a very useful adhesive. We have brass plated fasteners. These are fun little things to make wheels turn, or any kind of, if you have a clock and you want to make the 2 hands turn, you can use a brass plated fastener. So we are going to go over everything on my groovy chart over here. First, let's go through them all, and then we're going to break them down, and I'll show you how to do each one. The first one is flange, and that involves a toilet paper tube. You can also use a paper towel tube, or even a wrapping paper tube. You can make a lot of those, or if you want to use it as something taller. We have an L-brace, which is basically just 2 pieces of cardboard connected by masking tape or any other kind of adhesive. Not glue though, it has to be something that you can fold back and forth. We have slot, which is a cut, and they just go together like this. Here we have tabs, so you have 2 pieces of cardboard on either side that fold and stick together. Down here we have a slot and a tab, and they go together like this. And here is the brass fastener in action. So much fun. And the last thing we have on the chart, we talked about in video 1, the texture in between the 2 pieces of paper, like grocery bag material, which makes the cardboard structurally sound. And we're going to start with the flange. Now this is how it's going to look after you cut around your toilet paper roll or your paper towel roll, whatever you want to use. So we're going to use this, and we're going to use our scissors, and we're just going to cut all the way around. I would say maybe a 1/2 inch width, each little tab. You want them to be the same length up so that when you fold them, it's not crooked. Pretty good. Now you can see how it's tilted. That means, I meant to do that. That means that there's a couple that aren't folded up enough. So that's cool. Okay, so now I'm going to take my glue and just dab a little. So there we go. That is pretty much it. So if you wanted to make your tube taller, then I would make your base a little wider. This is probably a little wider than it has to be, but it has to be wide enough to get your little flanges around. Now the next one is the L brace. So we're going to make sure that our two sides are pretty compatible. That looks good. And then we're going to use some of the foil tape. And it doesn't have to be quite as long as your two pieces of cardboard, but long enough so that it's, again, secure, structurally sound. And there you have it. Now, can't you just visualize this as a presentation board? You know those expensive ones you buy in the office stores? You can make your own. Well, it's basically the same thing. And then you can just cover it with any colors or fabrics, all sorts of stuff. Okay, so the next one, tabs. Now, I've got a little piece here, it's kind of like that one. But you know, it can be any size. You just have to make sure that your little tabs are going to be big enough to make it stand up. So what I did, I already folded them. You fold them in half. And this time I'm going to use masking tape. So I'm going to put the tape this way, across this way. I could do it the other way, but then it's not very wide, so it would barely touch either side, so you don't want to do that. You should have your tabs kind of line up. Alright, the next one is slot and tab. So this one, we're going to make a little mark, pencil mark, just like this, so I know where to cut. And then I'm going to make a little cut here, so I know where to make my tab. This. So this time I'm going to use my X-Acto knife. And I'm going to make two lines so that I have enough space for my tab to go in, and then kind of crush the little corrugated area there underneath. And then I'm going to switch to my scissors and cut have a feeling it's going to be too tall. Yeah. So I'm going to cut this tab a little bit shorter so it doesn't bend. It doesn't have to be very big. But it's better to make it bigger first and then trim it. There we go. I could even trim it a little bit more so that it sits flat on the base. Just like that. Look at that. That's cool. All right. So that leaves one left, the brass fastener. So the brass fastener is this cool little thing right there. Now these come in different sizes too. These have been around forever. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna find a hole, and you don't want it too close to the edge so it doesn't tear. I'm gonna make a hole here, make a little bigger, and then I'm gonna just punch it right through. Careful not to put your finger in the way. Alright. And then if I want them in the same spot, I'm just gonna eyeball it. You could also use a ballpoint pen. It's gonna make a bigger hole, but it works. It works. Just anything that has a point, and it, you know, this has a little ball on the end, so it doesn't have to be super sharp. Okay, so now I'm going to take my brass fastener and stick it through the first hole, and then I'm going to stick it through the second hole. There we go. And then I'm going to open that up. Ta-da! I don't know why this is so cool to me, but it is. I think I know why it is. Because my students, it took their creations to a whole new level, because they could make arms for moving arms for their T-Rex, or their wheels can turn, you know, on their car or their tractor or whatever. It just, I don't know, that they thought it was so cool, and I do too. And you could make a clock, and these could be the hands. You can make a complete clock out of cardboard. There's just, it's endless how many things you can do with cardboard. And I know I've said that, I'm sure I've repeated myself with that, but it's worth saying again, because you really can. So that is everything that I have to show you today. There's a video 3 coming out, and that is going to cover a little bit more detail about how to create a cardboard picture. And then video 4 will be about how to add color to that. So please stay tuned, and the way you will find out when those are coming out is to subscribe, and you do that with that little red button down there. And don't forget to give me the thumbs up and like my video, of course, if you liked it. And below you can leave a comment, and I would really appreciate that. If you have an idea for a video that you would like me to do, if I know what I'm doing, I will definitely check that out. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for stopping by. See you next time.